everybody. We had a great day at the coast clamming yesterday and got full limits for everybody. So on this episode of From What I Gather, we're making a rich and creamy New England style clam chowder that everyone's gonna love. So let's get started. Now I've taken my clam gut pieces and I've strained them out. And from there I've got about a cup and a half of really nice clam juice. So I just want to pour off this clam juice and see if there's any sand left in the bottom, and I'll just pour it into a jar, and if there's any sand left in the bottom, it'll just stay there. Right there you can see just a tiny bit of sand left in the bottom. I'll just leave it behind, and this will be great in the chowder. You'll just see any of this dark colored stuff, we're just going to cut out of there. And the gills here, we can take these gills off. Also see those scallops, if you can find any of those scallops attached in there. Just take those off and set those aside because they're really good. So once we got that fairly clean, I mean, it doesn't have to be 100% clean. A little of that dark stuff in there is not going to hurt you. You just don't want a lot or it'll make your chowder gray. So then we're just going to chop that up too, just like everything else. There's some tougher parts, you'll cut those into little bigger bits, and then the gut, just chop it up like everything else. And that, like I said, this part here will just kind of dissolve into the chowder and make it really nice and clammy. And now I'm going to rough chop some of my delicious clean clam neck. I'm making a big batch of chowder today, and the first thing I want to do is crisp up a full pound of bacon down in here, kind of over medium heat to render out the fat and get that bacon nice and crispy. I got nice crispy bacon now, rendered all the fat out, and I'm not only just going to leave all that bacon fat in there, I'm going to add a half a cup of butter too. So let's keep that kind of low heat and get that butter melted all the way down. Now even before that butter's all the way melted down, I'm going to go ahead and add in 2 cups of diced onion. It's a pretty big pot of chowder, so a lot of onion. This is one really big onion diced up. And I'm going to add a cup and a half of diced celery. I'll bring that up to medium heat and let those saute a bit. Hit that with a pinch of salt. When my onions start to wilt and get a little translucent, I'll throw in a cup of all-purpose flour. Keep that medium-low heat right now. I'm going to cook that flour for a few minutes to give it a nice roasty kind of flavor instead of just a bland flour flavor. Just leave that a couple of minutes just to toast that flour up a little bit, cook it a little bit. Now I'm going to come in with cold milk. This is whole milk. I want it to be cold, and that's going to prevent this from clumping up on me. And just whisk that in or stir with a spoon. There's 6 cups. But since I used cold milk and cooled everything down, there really aren't any lumps to speak of. So scraping all the good bits off the bottom, then bring the heat up a little bit to medium high. As long as you keep stirring it, you don't want to burn the milk, so you keep moving this until it comes up to a boil. Add a big old pinch of salt, because that milk didn't come with any in it. Just keep her moving. And for flavor, I'm going to go ahead and add in a cup of that clam juice that I got when I cleaned out my clams. I'm going to save a little of that juice for fritters though. Now it's coming up to temp, starting to simmer, and that's where it's going to reach its maximum thickness. So depending on how thick you like this chowder, you can adjust it from here. Now this one is just a tiny bit thicker than I would like it to be, but that is a matter of personal preference. But I'm going to go ahead and add another cup of that whole milk. And I'm going to go ahead now and add in my clams. And this is clam chowder, so I'm using a lot of clams. I got a cup of those sort of gut pieces of clam, and then a good 3 cups of my chopped necks and feet. I want a lot of clam in there. But I will just keep stirring, bring this back up to a simmer, cover it, and simmer that for about 30 minutes just to get those clam bits tenderizing. Been simmering away for 30 minutes, and I've checked, and my clam necks and feet pieces are starting to get nice and tender, so I'm going to go ahead and add the potatoes. I've got 3 pounds of red potatoes cut into about 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch cubes, not too big, and I'm just going to go ahead and toss those in there until I think I have enough. And I think I'll go in just a little more. Use your judgment here, how much you like. And I'm using red potatoes because they will hold their shape better after boiling away in this soup. Now I'm going to bring it back up to a boil and then let it simmer again for about 20 minutes or until those potatoes are nice and soft. And there's our chowder. But we still got to put on the final touch. So I'm going to throw in a nice handful of chopped parsley. Give it a little fresh pop and some color, and then lots of heavy cream. That's gonna just make it rich and pretty. Now that's a chowder. And that's the dish. Super simple and super delicious. Let's see how we did. Oh, it's a classic. Rich and creamy, plenty of clam flavor. Boy, that is hard to beat. I really hope you try this, and I really hope you love it. And if you do, please like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching.